work, and it takes me about 5 months to come up with all the ideas I need. And by that time, it's summertime, and I have to really work hard to get my books done. Then I work really, really hard, and in August, I'm drawing for about 15 hours a day. Finally, I'm done. I get the book in the mail, and it's time to go out on tour. So this is really cool to be out here in California meeting you guys and seeing the book in your hands. So Charlie, my editor, is right there. He's the guy that helps me make all these books. So, any of you guys have any questions? Yes?
Where did you come up with the idea for your books?
Well, I used to want to be a newspaper cartoonist, but I wasn't good enough. I wasn't professional enough. So I started to think, well, what am I going to do with this? I'm not a good enough cartoonist to make it to the newspapers. So I decided to start doing cartoons as a 7th grade boy, and that's where the idea came from.
How do you make all your drawings?
I do all of my drawings on the computer, actually. So I do everything on a big tablet, draw on the screen, and use my hands to kind of zoom and move the page around and stuff like that.
Do you think of the cheese next?
How did I think of the cheese? We used to have a piece of cheese on our church parking lot right under the basketball hoop, and nobody would go near it. Yeah.
What color is book 9 going to be? Pink?
How many boys would not buy a pink book? I've thought about pink. How many girls would prefer a pink book? Yeah? So I don't know. I think I better stay away from pink. It's not strong enough. Yeah, what?
When you guys probably ended, I won't be serious, or are you going to be seriously continuing it?
Well, I'm really having a lot of fun. It's like if I stopped right now, then I would have only been a published cartoonist for 6 years. And so that's not very long. Like Peanuts was, how long did Peanuts go on for? 50 years, right? I'd love to have 20, 30 Diary of a Wimpy Kid books, but I don't know if there are enough ideas in my head.
Why did you decide to start writing?
I knew I was born to be a cartoonist. Do you feel like you were born to do something? To be a dancer? Yeah, somebody, an actor, any actor, a sports figure? Yeah, Mike?
Have you ever been in any of these situations?
Have I ever been in? I've been in a lot of the situations. If you name about any situation, I can tell you how I came up with the idea.
The beginning of this book with the Meckley kid.
With the Meckley kids, yes. We used to have, in the book, there are these kids named the Mingo kids, right? And they don't seem to have any parents, and they live in the woods, right? And the Fox kids, where I grew up. And it was sort of like this myth that built up. And like, I think somebody spotted a kid in the woods once, and it became this full-blown thing. That's what I like about childhood, is that you come up with your own kind of stories. Yeah.
How do you decide on the cover covers?
Believe it or not, that's one of the hardest parts of all this. We go through tons and tons of paint samples and look at all sorts of ideas, and we're sort of running out of new colors, right? But we always want to get it just right, and then when you see like the bus outside, you know you got it right. That's right. I have a full-time job. I work on a website called Pop Tropica. Have you heard of that? Yeah, some kids have. So yes.
What are you going to name the next book?
I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to name the book until I have all my ideas. I need 350 ideas. Once I have those, then I know what the book's going to be about. Yeah.
I got a idea for the next color.
All right. Yeah.
Turquoise.
Turquoise. Interesting. Well, did we do that on Cabin Fever? A little bit.
Well, that was more of a...
Why don't you do teal or black or white?
We call that ice blue. Yep. I am a fan of Big Hank. He's a friend of mine, like in person.
Oh.
Yeah. What inspired me was the failure to become a cartoonist.
Do you use a rough draft for all your books?
Yeah, myself and Charlie, we go through about, would you say, 8 big drafts per book. So a lot of your teachers will tell you that writing is rewriting, and that's true in published books.
Around how old were you when you started making for fairies?
I was 28 years old when I first started writing Diary of a Wimpy Kid, and I'm 42 now. Yeah.
How do you come up with the titles?
The titles, those are usually really hard. Actually, one of the titles that we had for this book was Blackballed, right? And it was, blackball means if you're blackballed, it means that other people have kind of cut you off. And I thought that that was a good title for this book, but it sounded a little bit negative, so we didn't use that.
Me?
Yeah.
What was your favorite book when you were a kid?
I like Tales of a Fourth Grade Nothing by Jeff. What's that about? Who's Greg based on? He's like a little bit like my worst parts altogether. Right?
What do you think is your favorite or the best book so far?
My favorite at the moment is this one. You know, you look at you guys with these neon green books. It looks pretty cool. But I think the red one will be my favorite long term because before that came out, I didn't have any success.
Do you have to repaint the bus every time you get a
Redo the bus?
Yeah.
We actually have 7 buses parked at my cul-de-sac. It's a sticker, believe it or not, it's just a big sticker. Yeah. Yes, Karen?
Were you very involved in the making of the movies?
I was unusually involved. And so I had to be on set for about half the time and help with casting and all that. And I spent the day the other day with Zach, who is Greg. Yeah.
What is your favorite movie from the Diary of a Wimpy Kid?
I think I like the first one because they really got the relationship between Greg and Rowley right. I like that a lot. Yeah? Yes.
Are they going to be making a new movie for?
We're going to make an animated holiday special. That's what's in it.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'm going to take one more question, and then anybody that doesn't have their question answered, I can answer it when I'm signing your book. Go ahead.
Who's your favorite character of the Diary?
I like Rowley the best because Rowley likes being a kid, and I like that. I wish I liked being a kid and appreciated it more when I was a kid. All right, so I think we're going to get signing here.